Welcome to the BitBoy Crypto Morning Show. Today, we're going to be taking a look at altcoins. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. What's it doing right now? I had a really good day yesterday and a lot of other fun stories. We're going to be talking a little bit about our trading competition, so you definitely want to be here for that. You can see Liz in the background. There she is, beautiful lizard. So let's go ahead and get started with the show. We're going to be taking a look at an altcoin today that I think is just fascinating, and I'm not the only person that thinks it. We've talked about it before on the channel, but we're going to be taking a look at XRP. XRP, $9 by the end of the year. Is that realistic? Well, Gemini AI predicts that, so take that for what it's worth. All right, let's go ahead, and I think it's this. Yes. Okay. So here we are on CoinGecko, coming in at 4.1 trillion. I told you 4 trillion is an important number to stay above. Always, a psychological level there for the entire market. But we're at 4.111 trillion right now. 24-hour volume, 149.76 billion. Bitcoin dominance, 55.8%, sliding again. And ETH picked up the 0.2 that Bitcoin lost. It's at 13.3% today. I tell you, that XRP story, I can't wait to get to that, because it's like the models are finally taking into consideration what the market does, how these bull markets work. So right now, Bitcoin coming in at $115,000. We will look, what was the high yesterday? Let's find out about that. High for yesterday. We hit 116,309. So I saw it about 16.2 somewhere, and I can't believe it's very interesting the way it has to see what has happened in the last 24 hours. Sorry, lost my train of thought there. So Bitcoin doing pretty well. Let's see here. Let's go by the last 24 hours. What's up? Memecore. I don't know anything about Memecore. Do you guys know about it? That would be cool if you did, because I've never heard of it. I mean, I've heard of it the last couple of weeks. Let's take a look at it. Let's see. Let's go to the max. It was launched back in June, it looks like, and now it's doing really well. It's about a 5x from this 50-cent line. Let's take a look at their website. Do they have a website? Memecore.com. What is this? It's a bunch of ants. The first L1 blockchain especially built for Memecore 2.0. It's a bunch of ants. And people over here, but mostly ants. This is a pretty cool site. About us, how to buy, ecosystem, ecofund, airdrop, build. About us. Memecore is a creative studio to make memes last forever. Meme 2.0 is the beginning of a viral economy. Meme 2.0, where participation matters more than pure hype. It's not just about chasing pumps. It's about tracking what you gave, what you risked, and what you built. In Meme 2.0, every click, every trade, every burn counts. This time your story gets remembered and rewarded. Here is where your story begins. Shows the cost of the chaos, and then shows the proof of the effort. So what is this? Insert coin. Oh, do I insert the coin? No, I can't make that thing do anything. Okay. TVL 2.81 trillion. That can't be right. Dipped hard. That's your story of Meme 1.0. Meme 2.0 turns the pain into a plan. How about that? Let's see where the hard work is. Keep up the good sweat equals rewards. Check my rewards. I'm not going to do that right now. I don't think I have any. What the heck? Let's see here. Let's see. Okay. Connect. Oh, I don't want to sign a message. I don't want to do that. I would like to look into this more before I do that. But anyways, it's a cool looking site. I mean, I think what they're doing is kind of cool. But they got a little Halloween thing down here, a little cat with a pumpkin on the broom. Or the ant. I guess that's an ant. I guess that's not a cat. But this thing has been on a tear. It has been on a tear recently. I mean, it was at 42 cents 2 weeks ago or so. And it really came up not only in popularity, but also in price. Almost 250 now. So there you go. My X 1713. That's good. That's higher than I sold mine. Or no, I sold mine at $18. My X Finance had a really good trade on this earlier this week. This is a new decentralized exchange, I believe. Provenance blockchain. Provenance. I don't know much about this one here either, to be honest with you guys. Let's see what this is. Real assets, real world impact. Okay. Sounds kind of like Psy a little bit. So anyways, we're going to go over every coin, but there's some coins that have been running up in the last couple of weeks. They're newer projects. So as we've entered into this little season of, we're going to look at any more projects. Let's get into the news here. This is not good, guys. Okay. Sorry, my computer's being really slow. Give me just a second here and we'll get going again. Okay. Okay. Anytime now. Anytime now. I think the Memecore thing's probably fine, but listen, every time you guys are going to sign a signature and give a signature over to your wallet, you better be sure it's what you think it is. And so I'm sure that's probably fine there, but I'm not going to do it on the show on live because that's pretty irresponsible. I want to look into it more before I do anything like that. Here we go. We're on Phemex here. Also, let me get my little banners up. Where are my banners? My banner. There we go. Let me get this up here. Guys, we've got a huge Phemex trading competition coming up. You can check the description, or I just posted about it on Twitter if you're on Twitter. So go check that out. We're doing the content's going to be a month. It's going to go from September 15th to October 14th. So definitely you're going to want to join that. You want to participate. The first prize is an iPhone Max or iPhone 16 Max. And then there's prizes all the way down. And then there's share prize pools. For basically, if you trade during our competition, I think you'll probably win something. We've got a lot of stuff to give out. We may do some rewards and things like that other than just what you see. But we'll take a look at that a little bit later. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Let's do it now. Let's do it now. Here you go. Here is the site. Now we also have a trading signals group. And that trading signals group, it is, let me go down here. Close positions. Close positions. Here it is. Okay. So this trade right here, this is a trade that I made using the signals that we're getting in our trading group. So to join the trading group, look in the description and click the link, and you got to get verified. You got to deposit on Phemex. And I can tell you, there's another guy who's posting in there a lot, not just the Phemex professional traders. And he's been hitting triple-digit ROI on several of those. So I'm going to pay attention to the next one I see from him. But we have professional traders from Phemex that are giving signals in here. This is 100%. I wouldn't have ever thought to go trade ENS, 100% due to the signal I got. So you're going to want to join that as well. So, okay, let's move on to what's going on with Bitcoin here. I tried to clean up my lines a little bit that I made. I got rid of some of them, as I just had so much on here. But let's actually go to. I like to go to Bybit, see what it's doing here. Yeah, I mean, it looks like we're on a breakout. The 114,000 or 113.6 actually is where this line is. It's a very important line. So we could possibly look for this to come back and touch down here. And we have another line at 118. In between now and 118, a lot of people are saying there's going to be a good short opportunity. I'm not sure 100%. I seem to think that we're going to get some bullish news over the next week as we lead into the FOMC meeting next week. I think that's going to be huge. It's going to be a lot of volatility. Everybody's expecting it to shoot straight up. But then there's also people that are pointing out, well, every other time we've had rate cuts, we've had rate hikes and then followed by a rate cut that signifies kind of the transition period between raising and cutting, that usually assets go negative, that people are going to trade and we might get a big flurry before next week. And then after next week, we may get a big dip. I don't know if that's true because we are going to see another rate cut this year. And if they cut it 0.5, I mean, my gosh, right? Like that should be a pretty good indication. Let's see what the numbers are today for next 5 days. Okay, so it's gone down. This was around 11%. Now it's at 5.5%. So we're going to get 4 to 4.25 next week, it looks like. And then maybe we can get another 25 bip cut maybe in probably December, September and December, probably when we're going to see those. But I'm not sure. I think there is another meeting, I think maybe in November. I don't think October gets a meeting. It's not every single one. Oh, here it is. December 25, September. No, it's October. November doesn't get one. October and then December. So we've got basically 6 weeks or so in between these meetings to see if they're going to do it in October and December, or I guess technically they could do all three, but I think we're getting 2 rate cuts. So probably what would be better, this could be a pivot point in the market. The December one could be a pivot point. If we get a rate cut 2 months in a row, I think that would be really bullish. It's hard for me to see the market going down, but yeah, the history of the market has shown that is what it actually does. So there you go. So we'll go back to Bitcoin here. Take a look. We're on the 4-hour chart. Take a look at Market Cipher. What Market Cipher is saying. Market Cipher right now is saying a drop, saying it could go down, and I think that probably would be pretty accurate. I mean, we're not. I mean, we got a clear line there. So, but remember, we only have it there because well, never mind. All right. We've got 1,023 people watching. You guys make sure to share all of these videos with your friends if you have any. Let's look at the hour chart. So the hour chart. Hour chart, we got a green dot on the 1 hour. 2 hour is still falling. Let's go with the shorter time frames, 5 minutes. Can't really tell anything from that, to be honest with you. A lot of red. Could be a good time to take a short, maybe. I think it is going to go probably back down to the 13s again. It may not, but I think if it goes down to the 13s, it can bounce back up pretty quick in the 15s, 16s. We're playing in a range between 110,000 and 114,000. We were playing there for a while, and now it's like we're going to play in the next area for a while, I think. So key things to watch is 113.6 and 118,000. Some people would tell you probably 16. as well. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to see some more sideways action too for a little bit. We'll see. All we know is next week, big things are coming. It's Friday now. So we got next week, big volatility is coming. So get ready for it. BlackRock plans $2 trillion real-world asset boom with the tokenization of ETFs. Let's see here. Let me go to our other sponsor, Market Cipher, up here for you guys. And let me get to the comments here. Didn't realize I was back. Well, welcome back. Well, thanks. I'm glad to be here. You remember in the spring of 2021, my prediction was very close. Yeah, for sure. And make sure to smash the like. If you guys could do that, it would really help. Okay, so let's go to this story. BlackRock plans $2 trillion real-world asset boom with tokenization of ETFs. This is absolutely what I have said all along for years and years and years. Everything will be tokenized. And now Larry Fink and BlackRock, they want to tokenize the ETFs. So how is that going to happen? Let's see. ETFs could bridge Wall Street and crypto through tokenization. So what does this mean? Tokenization involves creating blockchain-based versions of traditional financial assets. In the case of ETFs, digitization could facilitate trading outside Wall Street's usual hours, allow easier international access, and create new possibilities for using shares as collateral with crypto networks. So here is what they're basically saying. We want to turn the stock market into something that operates more like blockchain than it currently is. Because with blockchain, because all custody is known, because it's a transparent ledger, you can trade after hours because those synthetic versions, the tokenized, it's a little hard to say, but the tokenized versions of these assets, they'll be synthetic, which means you can trade on them in between hours because you're not actually relying on the stock market to be open. You don't even need the stock market to be open once all of it's tokenized. So this is why eventually all trading is going to head to this kind of trading because it's 24/7. When you are tying the hands of people who are wanting to trade, that's not good because they would be willing to trade after hours. All the stock market people would be willing to trade after hours. You could be trading during when China opens and all that stuff. So what chain do you think benefits the most from BlackRock tokenization? What chain benefits the most from BlackRock tokenization? It's got to be Ethereum, right? It's got to be Ethereum because that's where most of it's going to go. And he even talks about this in an article or the writer does. BlackRock has consistently positioned itself as an early mover in the space. The company has previously tested tokenized fund shares on JP Morgan's Onyx blockchain, now known as Connexus. That's got to be it. And Chief Executive Officer Larry Fink has repeatedly said he believes every financial asset can ultimately be tokenized. He's a copycat. He said it after I did. We talked a lot about the blockchain, the JP Morgan chain. All that is built on Ethereum. That's all built on top of Ethereum. It's a private blockchain on Ethereum, which is really interesting. Those of us that are not in the corporate world probably have a hard time getting our head around it. Let's see. Tokenization of RWAs could unlock a $400 trillion TradFi market. 400 trillion, guys. And Memecore believes the tokenized RWA market has already hit an all-time high of 26.5 billion, a 70% increase since the start of the year. Most of that growth has been concentrated in private credit and U.S. Treasuries, which together account for nearly 90% of tokenized values. So, Ondo, obviously, this is another thing. It's not just the trading hours; it's where people can trade. People in other parts of the world are not allowed to trade Apple, right? But if you create a synthetic version and it's all on chain, that can be proven that synthetic version is actually representing something real, then anybody in the world can trade it. we are looking at a playground for the world, and there may be markets in other countries that maybe we would want to trade. I don't know, to be honest with you. I know the currency market in Korea is pretty good. I know some people like that. Okay. This service, let's see what the service it is exactly. Institution interest is also evident in new market launches. In September, Ondo Finance rolled out Ondo Global Markets platform offering tokenized access to over 100 U.S. stocks and ETFs for eligible non-U.S. investors. So the service with Ondo, currently live on Ethereum, allows 24/5 minting and redeeming of tokenized securities backed 1-to-1 by underlying assets held at U.S. registered broker deals. So 24/5. So right now with this service, you can trade from Monday, I guess at midnight, Sunday night, all the way to midnight on Friday. You can trade. So they're already doing some overnight trading. As far as weekend trading, I'm sure that'll come soon. So really fascinating story here, guys. BlackRock ramps up digital asset push with $80 billion under management. That's a lot of money. A lot of money. 14 billion crypto inflows. That's what they just had. Their shares slid 6%. So there you go. This is an interesting story as well. Billionaire Barry Silbert, it says he hasn't been this excited about a crypto project since discovering Bitcoin. Barry Silbert was in charge of crypto, the digital currency group. He's still part of it, I believe, because that's where he's speaking at, is something for no, that was Fortune's Brainstorm Tech. Okay, so he says that he believes the next big wave in crypto is going to be the convergence of AI in crypto. And it's not just the intersection of two of the buzziest buzzwords in tech that has him excited. It's a project called Bittensor, a decentralized marketplace for AI founded by Jacob Steves, a former Google engineer. He's so excited about Bittensor that he started a new company called Yuma that's dedicated to the protocol and its associated cryptocurrency Tau. He said, I want to open up development and access to AI, and Bittensor is enabling that. It is the thing that I've gotten the most excited about since Bitcoin. Now, keep in mind, he has a company that does this, right? So, of course, he's going to be excited about it. But this goes into a little bit into who he is. But I figure we could just go look at Bittensor, check out the website. This is its all-time chart here. You can see it's had two really big run-ups to $700, and I'm sorry, I've got a pinwheel here. 350 or 2. So it's traded about 50% of its all-time high. And if we get this true altcoin season that I think a lot of us are starting to believe we're going to get, certainly Bittensor could get back up over $1,000, I believe. There was a lot of excitement when there wasn't even a lot of excitement in the market. So Bittensor, there it is. I remember their website. I think that's supposed to interact with my cursor, but it's not doing it. Explore about. Summary. That doesn't look like a summary. The invention of Bitcoin was a revolutionary moment for humanity because it introduced two simultaneously united yet distinct technological innovations, reshaping the way that humans organize themselves. Primarily, it was the first ever decentralized currency, which gave humanity a shared value system, one that could not be mutated by vested or centralized interests. With this, Bitcoin promised a future of fair, anti-fiat finance. Secondly, and to achieve this aim, it birthed the original disseminated and permissionless digital commodity market. Second point has not been overlooked by anyone who has been watching closely. The Bitcoin network's computational power, measured in raw hashing power, has blast past the potential of any company or government. So Bittensor is essentially a language for writing numerous decentralized commodity markets or subnets situated under a unified token system. This distinct market function through Bittensor's blockchain allows each to interact and join into a singular computing infrastructure. By analogy, Bittensor brings the same type of abstraction which Ethereum added to Bitcoin for running decentralized contracts, but onto Bitcoin's inverse innovation. So pretty interesting stuff here. It has a lot to do with AI. see, research. You can check out their white paper, connect. They got GitHub and Discord. It's here. I'm not going to continue to bore you guys with this, but Bittensor, I thought it was really interesting. This whole entire article is about Bittensor and how Barry Silbert has this company, Human, now dedicated to Bittensor. So when you have somebody like that basically has been in charge of the world of crypto since creating Second Markets, which became the digital currency group, he's somebody to listen to. But remember what we always say. We always say, don't necessarily hear their words, look at the actions. He's actually lining these up where he's saying, I have a company dedicated to this, and this is why, because I think Bittensor is such a strong project. So pretty interesting stuff. Gemini IPO price is high after Winklevoss crypto exchange rate expected prices. Gemini Space Station raised $425 million in its initial public offering Thursday night, selling fewer than expected shares, but above the recently raised price range. The company is set to become the third public crypto exchange, along with Coinbase and Bullish, which launched last month. Gemini will trade on the NASDAQ starting today under the ticker symbol GEMI, GEMI. So I can't remember where it was, but somewhere somebody was basically saying that this was it was oversold by 20 times, like 20x oversold. So anyways, I'm not that interested in that story. Just want to show it to you guys. Let's see. Check on my trade here. I got to trade. I'm on XLM. This is a signal in our group, and it's set to get in anywhere between 39 cents and 40 cents. So I've got a pretty good position at 39 and like just maybe a buck, somewhere around there. So this is what I'm looking for. Okay. Canelo. I mean, you guys gonna watch that fight? When is it? Is it on Netflix? I think it's on Netflix. Should be able to watch it. Which chain do you think benefits most from tokenization? Ethereum. Sorry, I got a lot more comments here. What are they talking about? Conservative prices for Ondo and Pith. Don't want to sell too soon. I don't feel really that. I don't feel that comfortable really giving those right now. I'd have to do a little more research. I've been a little bit out of the loop, as you guys know. But I would say it's hard. It's hard because we could be at the top of the market. You know, I mean, we could have already seen the top. It's possible, but everything is pointing towards altcoin season, towards altcoins exploding. And if that's the case, Ondo and Pith are going to be two that are going to move the most, I think. So I think you just have to kind of decide where you think, hedge, maybe sell some now and save for the future. But I would not be personally coming out of this market. I don't think this is the end of the market. I think if there is an end to it quickly, it will be after the rate cut next week. But I just don't see that happening because we got more rate cuts promised. So. Oh, you guys talking about that thing that happened the other day? Yeah. Okay. Master and Commander. That's right. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to that story here in just a second. See, where is that story? Oh, here it is. Okay. Forward Industries closed a $1.65 billion deal to build Solana treasury. Shares jumped 15%. So now we've had these Ethereum treasuries getting built. Now Forward Industries is going to be the premier for Solana. With the funding, the NASDAQ-listed firm aims to be the largest public corporate owner of Solana's SOL. And I think that's a good idea. Forward Industries closed its previously announced $1.65 billion private placement to build out the largest corporate treasury focused on Solana. Lead investors Galaxy, Jump Crypto, and Multicoin offered $300 million of that. So I guess those are the biggest ones. Shares initially jumped 15% in pre-market trading following the announcement. PIPE stands for Private Investment in Public Equity, by the way, if you don't know what that means. NASDAQ listed Ford Industries said Thursday it has closed the $1.65 billion private investment in public equity PIPE, the deal to build out corporate crypto treasury centered on Solana. Cash and stablecoin commitments led by Galaxy Digital, Jump Crypto, and Multicoin Capital will fund the company's plan to anchor its balance sheet in Solana's native token. So there you go. The move comes. Sorry, I had to yawn. Nothing I can do about that. The move comes as public companies explore digital asset treasuries holding crypto directly on their balance sheets, seeking to mirror early adopters like Michael Saylor's strategy, MicroStrategy, which has recently become the largest corporate owner of Bitcoin. Did they change the name to just Strategy? I wonder. I don't think so. I think it's supposed to be MicroStrategy. But Solana-focused treasury firms include DeFi Development, DFDV, UpXi, UpXi, and Sol Strategies, STSS, collectively hold over $1.4 billion in Sol. So now this one, $165 billion, seeks to be the largest. So there you go. Guys, be careful. Remember earlier I was like, I'm not going to sign something over to a website I don't know yet. Async RAT, that means something that can enter into your computer remotely, exploits ConnectWise Screen Connect to steal credentials and crypto. So this is fascinating. I really enjoyed reading this story here. But basically, here's what happened. You have this company called ConnectWise. Let's just go to the actual website. Click their sponsored link. Live demos, see how it all comes alive. Strap in our 60-minute interactive demo. So we show you how ConnectWise software work together seamlessly to cover every aspect of the customer journey, from building brand awareness and onboarding, service delivery, and billing. Register today for one of our ConnectWise AZO platform demos. So anyways, it's going to show you this, but I believe what this is it's like TeamViewer. It's where you can create, you can allow people to share your screen. And so what happens is that the victim signs up, they get a Trojanized Screen Connect installer, right? Like all of a sudden out of nowhere, it just says, hey, download this, like when you're clicking around on Microsoft computers. Then you get the initial drop, update.vbs. I don't know what that means exactly. But then they write a script to the dropper domain. Persists via scheduled task Skype updater. So then it says, hey, out of nowhere, make sure to update your Skype. Use this. And then it goes up here. And then they have this obfuscator little bug that they put in there. And then they are now in your phone and your computer. See, you start right there. Now they are in. They can put in a keylogger. They can do credential stealers. And if you have crypto wallets access through that device, they can get it. And then there's a periodic ping. I don't know what this is to C2 communication. I definitely don't know this part. But all this is kind of easy to understand what happens when you let somebody in that you should not let in. So be careful. Let's cover this story first, then we'll get to the Ethereum story. Ethereum and Polygon emerge as top picks for Latin American developers. I think every day we're going to end the show with 5 or 10 minutes of AMA, if you guys want to do that. Basically, this story, I'm going to tell you what it says. It says that people in South America, Latin America, they like Polygon and Ethereum. They like Polygon and Ethereum. A blockchain researcher at Sherlock, it's a kind of think tank consultancy firm, noted that while the region's developers have the technical capacity to design new platforms, most are choosing to work within proven frameworks. So Ethereum and Polygon, they're already proven, so that's where they're building at. Okay, all right, check this story out, guys. And if you guys want to be dropping questions in the chat, I'll come get them here in a minute. Google's Gemini AI predicts the price of XRP, Dogecoin, and Cardano by the end of 2025. After analyzing information from across the web, Google's Gemini AI concludes that XRP, Dogecoin, and Cardano have explosive potential in the coming months. So it says, potential 3x rally with $9 in reach for, because remember, $4.50 was a big range that we're waiting on as well. And then this would be a 2x from there. So optimistic projections. Some analysts suggest that a significant price increase for XRP could be triggered by positive developments, such as the resolution of its legal case with the SEC, increased institutional adoption, or the launch of new products. In a highly bullish scenario, even forecasters suggested XRP could reach $3.60 to $9 range, or even higher by the end of 2025. This will likely be fueled by a major market bull run and renewed confidence in Ripple's utility for cross-border payments. So how about that, guys? I mean, I think, and this is from Gemini, which everybody's saying is the smartest AI now. Or at least that's what I've been hearing. And a lot of that stuff has already happened. We got the legal case out of the way. And we really needed a second coffee today. I didn't get it. What?
You're such a piggy.
I didn't know. I'm not pitching a fit. So anyways, according to Gemini AI, the baseline outlook sits between 330 and between 330 and 550, with the possibility of a surge towards $9 if the Trump administration follows through with industry-friendly policies. Approval of U.S. spot XRP ETFs could also be a major catalyst, and I think that's what we really have to see. We got to see that approved. It's going to be approved in October, and everything's going to move. That's the one thing we have in crypto, which we have all these institutional vehicles coming for this year. And that's why I do think that we are going to see a different kind of bear market than we usually have seen. Dogecoin, they're saying it could get back up to 40 cents. So if it also has its ETF approved, I can't remember if it's got one this year or next year, but I guess it would be this year. Yeah. With a potential Dogecoin ETF launch and a broad market surge. Sorry. Some analysis point to Doge reaching 25 to 40 cents or more by the end of the year. I got to be honest with you. I don't know what it's at now. Let's go to CoinGecko. 26 cents. So, okay. So somewhere between 40 cents and $1. Well, yeah, somewhere between 40 cents and $1, maybe. We'll see. And then Cardano right now is coming in at 89 cents. And what are they saying about that? Cardano also has surged 163% last year, outpacing Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. So ranking second only to XRP in intra-year growth among the top 10 cryptocurrency projects. Cardano's price projections are often tied to its technological roadmap and network upgrades. An optimistic look for ADA is based on the successful implementation, key scaling solutions like Hydra, just things that are making it more competitive. In a bullish market, some say we could see the $1.50 to $2.50 range, but more aggressive forecasts reaching as $5 to $10 if it reestablishes itself as a leading smart contract platform and the overall market experiences a major bull run. I think pie in the sky, $5. Well, I'd say $10 is probably out of range. Could it get to $5? I hope so. I hope that's where it goes. I hope it goes to $1 million, whatever. I get it. But in all seriousness, I'm thinking $5 is possible. It would make a new all-time high and be really bullish for, really bullish for everything. So, oh my gosh, what happened here? I asked for a second coffee and I got one.
You're supposed to drink the other way.
How was that?
So you can see the cat. You're drinking the cat's face.
I think you're supposed to create the cat's face. It's one of the words on the back. It doesn't do anything for them. Okay. All right, guys. Let's go over here. Let's go to Tony in Sacramento. First time caller. All right, this isn't a radio show. Let me put my Phemex banner back up. Okay. All right, let me look here real quick. No thanks. All right. Where are my comments? Look, I'm doing coffee with creamer these days. Okay. I've done it both ways. I used to basically mainline caffeine. Okay. But I'm not anymore. Let's see. Okay. Glad to have you back. What's the case for seeing the traditional bear market versus not? Seems like institutions are highly unlikely to dump their crypto. Well, they buy and sell to the people when it's advantageous to them. But what's the case for seeing the traditional bear market versus not? Well, the case would be, what are we going to see here? What are we going to see for the rest of this year? If we keep making new all-time highs, Bitcoin gets up to 140,000, we will certainly have pullbacks. It'll pull back, I don't know, back down to 110 or maybe all the way down to 100 at some point. But that, the numbers are getting so big that it's just really interesting to think about what kind of pullback we could get if it goes to 140. And then how long will it be before we get another new all-time high? Maybe the bear market is just slow and methodical and just plods along, price getting a little bit lower, a little bit lower, a little bit lower, without having massive sell-offs. It does seem, I agree, the institutions are not going to be dropping this time. In the last two markets, people said, "Oh, we're done with crypto. We're done with crypto. We're done with crypto." That's what happened in 2018. People dropped out of crypto left and right. And then in 2022, when the price dropped, we obviously went through the contagion and all that stuff. So when we went through the contagion, where all these companies were falling left and right, it looked like, oh man, there's going to be that's the end of it. We're not going to have crypto coming back. It's dead this time for sure. That's what they always say. I guess that's the biggest difference between what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we are not going to get a mass exodus from crypto where people are saying we don't think this works. We're not going to see that. They cleared out a lot of the bad actors, FTX and all that. They got cleared out. So, there's still plenty of bad actors, but their institutional daddies have a belt and will spank them if they misbehave, I think. If the article says $5, you better start selling at $3. I agree with that. I agree. I think it can get to $5, but I think right now, people in Cardano would just be happy if it can just get back to its all-time high. So I don't know what that means. Sold to all-time high by Christmas or sooner. October is when we expect to see something really big. October is when we've got a lot through the middle of November. We've just got a lot of institutional things that are going to be getting approved, I believe. I think there's virtually a 0% chance that we don't have the Solana and XRP ETF by the end of the year. I think it's virtually 0% or virtually 100% that it is going to happen. We are getting both of those. Right now, the SEC is so dang bullish. Paul Atkins, the head of the SEC, is bullish, and they're calling for this stuff to happen. And they've used the maximum amount of days. So this is it. This is where the rubber meets the road, is in October and November for so many of these institutional vehicles. So I think definitely they're gonna, do what they do. Let's see. So far, it's business as usual with the cycle, but it could be extended. Right. And that's a very important point to make, which is as of right now, if you're watching the cycles, well, we haven't had a lot of altcoins at all-time highs. Some have, though. But I guess, not every one from 2017 made a new all-time high in 2021. But with this one, I just think we have too much coming up. This is not hopium, right? Hopium is when you say, oh, I hope China's going to unban crypto, which they did at some point. Like, that's hopium. Like, we hope something will happen. This is more than hope. This is happening. So these are getting approved. No way they're not. So because of that, I think we're definitely through the end of the year. Through the end of the year would be a long bull run already. But when you look at 2026 and see there's even more institutional stuff coming in 2026 and more rate cuts, then it's hard to then believe that we're going to see another massive fall. The traditional markets have fallen after rate cuts. We haven't seen what crypto has done yet. It hasn't been really truly, well, I guess in 2020 where they cut rates, right? Bitcoin did what? Went up. So I think anytime that you are managing how much people have to pay to borrow money, you're going to see action. And I think, we should see action on the upside. Any news on SBF and FTX? No, FTX is dead. Like they had a chance to revive it. I think they ultimately chose not to. So what do I think happened to Alfredo?
Mhm.
Yeah, the question is, what do you think happened to me?
Oh.
Well, I mean, I don't know, Alfredo. Maybe you were poured upon a pasta dish. Thanks. Yeah, it is funny. All right, guys, it's 2016. It is time for me to get out of here. I appreciate you guys joining the show. What do we end up with? 1785 today. All right, I guess that is all that I got. Be blessed. Way out.